So High Spec is a leading supplier of carbon fibre to the motorsport industry and other sectors worldwide. So composites here, we work with carbon fibre predominantly. It's materials being layered together to form one particular structure. We liken it, what we do here, to a sandcastle. So to make a sandcastle you need a bucket, but to make the bucket you need the shape of a sandcastle. And we do all of those processes in-house here. So using our CNC department, which is new this year, we make the shape of the sandcastle. We then mould around it to make the mould, and then we've got 20 technicians next door who use that mould to lay up using layers of pre-pregnated materials at certain orientations to make the actual component itself. That will go into an autoclave under pressure at a certain temperature to form it into one component. The experience really comes from my husband. So he was in the industry for 15 years prior to us starting High Spec Composites. He'd started as a cleaner and worked his way up to general manager. The MD at the time of that company wanted to take the business in a slightly different direction, so Matt looked for alternative work, and in doing that he was advised to set up on his own. He didn't know how to, but I did. I'd gone down a different pathway through education and university, so we set up the business. He used his experience to make the carbon fibre components, and I used my limited experience to start the business. But a lot of what we do today is what we've learnt along the way since opening the doors. Something completely unrelated, I studied English language and literature, but what I do say to people now is the skills that I learnt in higher education have made my job possible. I don't think I'd be able to set up a business or run it as efficiently if I didn't have those 3 years of training at uni. Well, when Matt and I first set up the business, we were very young, we had very little. We didn't have a pool of money to set the business up, we just had an idea and a dream. So we approached a local bank and said, would they help us? The machinery is so expensive, we needed a premises, and they would only match what we could put in. So that was nothing. So Matt and I took a different approach and decided to run the business organically, and every order that we took a percentage of that, saved it away, and when we had enough money we invested in machinery. That's incredible. It's a huge achievement for our business and testament to the high standard of work that we're doing. It's great to have so many teams on the books because all of these teams are striving for new technologies to be the fastest, to be the best, and we're able to derive those technologies and apply them into other sectors and to the other teams, so it's a really unique position to be in. Okay, so we've got an in-house skills matrix here which Matt and I designed and wrote ourselves. I've got a keen passion for education and progression. I believe everybody should have the opportunity to progress if they so wish to do so. So we've designed this matrix which comprises of 160 in-house skills, everything from laminating, trimming, inspection, health and safety, so on and so forth. Each of those skills is directly related to pay, so if somebody wants to progress within the company, they need to up their skills. We also have a colour code system, so each technician will be wearing a colour depending on their skills. So if somebody wishes to learn, they don't need to look too far for help. With that skills matrix, we apply it to all of our technicians of all levels, but including apprentices. And then we've grown our business using apprenticeships ever since the beginning. Firstly, it was cost effective, and secondly, it matches with our ethos of progression and having a full circle, having the opportunity to work and have the certificates to prove it. When I was at school, I was pulled to one side by my form tutor weeks before leaving, and she asked me what I was going to do with my future. And at that time, I didn't know, I didn't have a clue. And she presented to me in return 2 options. She said I could go to university, which would mean going to sixth form, then university, getting high grades, or I could go into a low-skill, low-income job, and she alluded to a retail job in the area. Now, that might be great for some people, but for me, those options weren't enough. It seemed that the education route that she was offering was unachievable, but I wasn't ready to sit back in a low-skill job. That's really acted as a bit of a catalyst for me and a bit of inspiration moving forward, to show that actually anybody can achieve anything and get into the job they want to using alternative pathways. You don't need to just go to university or just go into a job. There's apprenticeships, there's traineeships, there's so many different options. I often say now, if you look at my business partner and I, we took 2 very different pathways. He went straight into work from school, I went through the education system, and yet we're in the same job on the same wage with the same responsibilities in the same sector. First of all, if you don't know what to do, that's completely normal. Most kids that I speak to, or young adults that I speak to, don't know where they're going to be in 5 years, 10 years or 20 years time. What I'd say is to spend a little bit of time thinking about what they enjoy, what excites them, what they want to wake up for in the morning, and then focus on the skills from that. So if it's to do with technologies or gadgets, then look at those subjects and progress in that area. I'd also say get as much work experience as you can, because until you're doing a job, you don't know whether you like it or not. So if you've got a bit of an inkling that you might like something, approach a company, say, can I come and shadow for a day? Can I come in for a week? Whatever it might be. But just try it out, because you'll soon know if it's for you and if it's not. And you'll learn the areas that you like, whether you like being part of a team, whether you like working independently, whether you want to be in management. You'll start to learn what suits you. We're in a really fortunate position at the moment. We're a multi-award winning business, so I've just won Young Business Person of the Year 2019 at the Oxfordshire Business Awards. We've previously won Small Business of the Year, and we're finalists for Established Business of the Year. We've also won Apprenticeship of the Year. So we're in a really strong position. Moving forward, we want to use those awards as a platform. We'd like to include a lot more training at High Spec Composites, potentially become a bit of a training hub. We'd also like to become a one-stop shop for all of our customers, so that they don't need to go for different parts of the composites process with different companies. They bring it all to us and reduce lead times.